Let us pray. Almighty God and Grandfather Spirit, we beseech you this day to grace us with your divine presence as we gather here to celebrate another milestone in the life of Vietnam Veterans of America and associates of Vietnam Veterans of America. We celebrate one another as we open this new chapter here in New Orleans. We ask for guidance and wisdom as we deliberate and make important decisions that will shape the future of our great organization. We may be very small when compared to all the other veteran service organizations, but our voice speaks loud and clear to protect the benefits our Vietnam veterans so well deserve. As an organization, we have made our presence known to those who make decisions that impact our daily lives. Our motto, "Never again will one generation of veterans abandon another," has been the driving force of our organization when we remember the painful abandonment we experienced when we returned home and were roundly rejected when we tried to join the other mainstream veteran organizations. This motto has gained the respect of our younger veterans who have served and fought in subsequent wars. Bless us as we look ahead and decide what legacy we will leave our younger veterans. The number of our veterans dying each day, each and every day, continues to grow, and we realize that one day the last man or woman standing will close the door of this great organization. Help us leave a powerful message to our younger brothers and sisters as they will be fighting their own demons and war-related diseases. Remember also all of our men and women wearing the uniform of our country who find themselves in areas of great danger. Bring them home safely to their families and friends. Remember all of our deceased members who served during the wartime and peacetime. Give consolation to all our hospitalized veterans, those who find themselves homeless or incarcerated. And finally, dear Lord, let us pause for a moment of silence to remember all of our POWs and those still missing in action and unaccounted for. In your holy name, O Lord, we pray. Amen.
You know, when you come to New Orleans, make certain you check out a second line. A second line is a thing that starts out of something called the jazz processional. In a jazz processional, all the folks who were dealing with a hard issue would stay behind, but everybody who was ready to celebrate life will be considered the second line. And there's nothing like a classic, authentic New Orleans second line. It's when you see an 8-piece marching band coming down the street and people are dancing for their life. They just happen, they're random parties. It's the quintessential soul of what New Orleans is all about. And I can't wait to see you guys here experiencing that right here in New Orleans.
To present the colors, the color guard of the Washington Artillery of the Louisiana Army National Guard. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Leading the pledge today will be two Dean Martin gold diggers, Paula and Jackie, who went to Vietnam twice with Bob Hope, 69 and 70.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
To sing the national anthem, please welcome Lakin Futada from the Louisiana Kids.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early lights what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes in bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Again, that was the color guard of the Washington Artillery of the Louisiana Army National Guard. And now for the presentation of the service flags by the color guard made up of VVA members from the state of Louisiana. In keeping with VVA tradition, please stand when your service branch flag is presented. And by the way, he is a Coast Guard. Please welcome your VVA National Officers, Treasurer Wayne Reynolds, Secretary Bill Meeks, Vice President Marcia Ford, and President John Rowan.
Good morning. Bonjour, mes amis. We are in the French Quarter, and it's a fun place to be. I don't know how many of you had a chance to get around in the neighborhood, but it's first of all, you're going to gain 10 pounds this week. That's a given. So, you know, just get used to it and enjoy it. The food is really, really good. I don't know I think if there was a bad restaurant in New Orleans, they'd shoot the guy. Seriously. It's good to see everybody. This is quite the crowd. I think this will come in as the largest convention VVA has ever had. Not bad for the senior division of the American Veterans Group. We're doing pretty well. I love the throwing of the beads. Tossing the beads out. In New York City, if you did that, you'd either start a fight or start a lawsuit. I'm not sure which. But it's fun. We, as often would do, we would hopefully to have some guests here this morning from VVA history, but we do have Blanche Duggins is here, representing her husband. Blanche, always a pleasure. Tom Corey was supposed to come, but unfortunately he was unable to get an aide to be able to travel with him, and so could not make the trip. Hopefully we'll see him out in California during the leadership conference. Mary Stout will be here Thursday. I don't know how many have been watching the news that the DAV is so thrilled that they have a woman commander. Okay. I hate to tell them, they're number 3. We, of course, had a woman president back in 1987. And we were the first by far. The Catholic War veterans, by the way, had a woman national commander 2 years ago. So they were number 2. So the DAV, they only come in number 3. So it's nice, though. I'm sure that the ladies are very happy to finally have a lady commander in the DAV. As I have wanted to do in the past, I would like to one more time ask anybody who had received a recipient of a Silver Star or above to please stand. And I urge you, please stand. If you're a recipient of a Silver Star and above, please stand. The word hero is often tossed around. Klein's standing on the chairs again. You know, Jerry, I don't know how many of you know Jerry Klein from the Small Veterans Association. Jerry and I are old friends. We go back over 40 years. Jerry, of course, always wears his first calf hat, so he'd be another 4 inches taller. But Jerry and I used to have fun going to Albany. We were from New York, going to the lobby up in Albany. And we looked like Mutt and Jeff going up there. And of course, and all these silly politicians would be talking to me. And we all wore, both of us wore our ribbons and stuff, and that was fine, but they don't know what the hell they're looking at anyway. So they all be talking to me, and I'd have to keep saying, no, he's the war hero, him. And they go, huh? But no, Jerry, thank you. I do that for a reason. You know, as I say, the word hero is tossed around way too much in today's, you know, football players, baseball players. You're not a hero if you stand at bat and get $100 million a week to get hit at. I'm sorry, that's not a hero. But I also need to impress upon people how few real heroes there are. I mean, I think anybody who's crazy enough to go sign up for the military and go off and fight is sort of heroic. But then we all know that they were the real heroes amongst us, and they're few and far between. So it's really good to recognize them when they come. So it's been an interesting 2 years since the last convention. 2 years ago, this was a single-breasted jacket. Now it's a double-breasted jacket. Helps to lose 40 pounds. Helped my diabetes too a little bit, I can tell you that. Didn't seem to help the fact that I needed to get my heart valve replaced. I don't know how that worked out, but if I moo every once in a while, you understand why. You know, some poor cow sacrificed their life for me. And talk about heroic, you know. But seriously, you know, every time you come to these conventions, it's like a who's who of medical conditions. I mean, and unfortunately, every time we come, we keep hearing about who didn't make it because they got sick, who's got that, who's got the other thing. And also, by the way, the ladies in the back, you're not escaping either. Unfortunately, too many of the veterans, the men's wives and the women's spouses are having more problems, as many problems as we are. But we persevere, and we keep going. How many of you did see that little, ended up, I guess, on YouTube or whatever, my testimony regarding the unemployability issue? A lot of you, okay. That seemed to have, it was interesting how that particular video and that particular issue went viral, as the kids say today. And I think it was for a very clear reason. It was hitting home to so many people. And also the blatant disregard for the veterans, for the idiots who decided to put that up even. And the issue is so silly, and for those of you who didn't catch it, didn't understand it, there was a proposal in the VA's budget this year to tell anybody who had individual unemployability that when you turn 62, you should go on Social Security or Social Security disability. It's absurd. They didn't get the idea that if you got individual unemployability, especially at an early age, the odds are you didn't work long enough to get any Social Security. So I don't know what the hell they think they were doing. But this thing was so pathetic. Even the conservative, money-grubbing characters in both the House and the Senate said no way in hell and bailed out on this immediately. And we got a lot of traction on that, I can tell you that. It was interesting because Shulkin, I don't think Shulkin really wanted to do this. I really believe it was the budget cutters and the OMB people that were pushing it. What disturbed us even more was that the cuts that they were talking about doing to save them money was to beef up the choice program. Now, generically, there's nothing wrong with the choice program, per se, but it cannot replace the VA. No way in hell. All we have to do is see just now what's happening with the choice program. They're complaining because they ran out of money. Oh, what a shock when you go out into the real world and pay doctors that earn twice as much as the VA doctors, or charge twice as much, or health plans that charge twice as much. Yeah, you're going to run out of money. So if you can think you can take the millions of veterans that are going through the VA every day and put them in the private sector, you're insane. Besides which, how many people here use outside care? A good number here. Okay, good. How many of you still have trouble in the outside getting an appointment or getting in on time or getting to see a doctor? How many of you have to go see a PA first before you see a doctor? Yeah, I mean, you know, I have a wonderful health plan that I get, you know, from part of my retirement. It's wonderful. Premier plan, Medicare Advantage. But I still can't see a doctor until I've seen a physician assistant first. I still can't automatically go see a skin doctor or some other doctor. I got to get a referral, just like they do in the VA. So, and we know that they can't handle this stuff. And I live in New York City, where I get, you know, doctors, you could spit and hit a doctor practically. But what do you do in those places where you don't have doctors? Which unfortunately is a lot of rural America. And they expect a choice program to take over for the VA. I don't think so. I mean, I think the expansion of the CBOX community-based outpatient clinics has been a big success. Certainly the expansion of the veterans, the Vietnam veterans programs, the ones we had for mental health, and since expanded to all the new vets, is a great success, the vet centers. They're trying an experiment that was going on in Long Island that's actually quite intriguing. We'll have to see how that goes. And the Rand Corporation studied it and thought it was a really good idea. What they did is they co-located a mental health program in one facility with Northwell Health, which is a big health care program out on Long Island, and the VA. So you go into this building, the veteran and their family can go into a building, vet goes in one side, family member goes in the other side with their kids, for example. But the thing is, they both sign releases so that their professionals that are treating them can talk to each other. So they understand what's going on in the whole family. It's a great program, long overdue, and hopefully it'll get replicated. So we've been having fun the last couple of years. Last year, of course, we had the great passage of the finally getting some hopeful money into understanding and getting some research done on the effects of our children of toxic exposures. And that was fine, except now we got to fight the money side of it. One of the things that was in that wonderful budget bill was a cutback in the research money in the VA. So the fight goes on. We have got, as I said, lots of things to still do. And you'll hear a little bit more later on about what's going on in the future of VVA and all this stuff. Very clearly, we are not disappearing yet. One only has to look at this room, and as I say to people, I love the optimism of a 70-year-old who buys a life membership for $100. But we can be very grateful for all of those folks, because it's amazing to me to see month after month after month, when I get the report from Charlie Hobbs and the membership committee and the membership department, how our membership keeps going up, despite the fact that, unfortunately, Father Phil's list of those who passed away in the previous month also keeps going up. But we're staying ahead of the game. We're more joining than there are losing. That's great. Our numbers are growing. I think the last I looked, it was 81,000 and change, which is remarkable. And of course, some places are doing better than others. Some of you guys in the sunnier climes and some of the folks, but a lot of it really is up to the members. It's up to you and the leadership to get out there and find those veterans who haven't joined us yet. It still amazes me to run into Vietnam vets who have no idea we exist. I mean, as much as we've been doing, both nationally and locally. So, anyway, as I say, you've still got a ton of jobs to do. You're going to hear stuff over this week about all the different issues we care about. We thank God in our old age we don't fight about half of the stuff we used to fight about. We kind of agree on things. The Constitution's maybe almost done, although the Constitution chair might have a different opinion on that. We're tinkering around the edges at this point on that. But the resolutions are still real, and some of them, unfortunately, are still there. We don't tinker with them because they haven't changed. We haven't gotten an answer to the thing we want to fight for in the first place. So with all of that, I thank you again for all showing up here. This is a wonderful, wonderful turnout. The fact that we're in New Orleans may have had a lot to do with it. I'm not so sure. I hope so. I'm sure the local folks here would tell you it was. And so, as I say, don't eat all that much. It's good, but moderation. But at this point, I would like to introduce my cohort, Sharon Hobbs, the National President of the Associates of Vietnam Veterans of America.
On behalf of the Associates of Vietnam Veterans of America, I welcome you to our 9th National Convention. We have pre-registered 97 delegates representing 20 states, 75 chapters, and 2 at large. Tomorrow, delegates will meet to amend our governing bylaws. Then on Friday morning, we'll elect our national officers and board of directors. During the convention in 2015, the delegates voted to add the elected office of deputy director, so that additional office has been added to our Friday ballot. The last 2 years have gone by quickly. The current AVVA board has been the catalyst behind new programs and projects. Last year, during the National Leadership Conference, we kicked off our new secondary PTSD program titled PTSD 2. Then in January of 2017, we partnered with Military and Veterans Caregiving Network to offer online peer support to our members who are full-time caregivers. Our VISTA volunteer program continues to set records in community service. Over 53,000 hours have been recorded since its introduction at the Leadership Conference in 2014. And this past year, we participated in 52 Faces of Agent Orange town hall meetings nationwide. Our final project for this term will end Saturday during the closing ceremonies of the presentation of a check to Project Friendship. Volunteers of America, Greater New Orleans, serves the veteran homeless population in this area. We are accepting donations until Friday. Please help us reach our goal of $12,000. Professional soccer player from Brazil, nicknamed Pelé, who was voted the world's player of the century in 1999, said, "Success is no accident. It's hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, but most of all, it's loving what you do." The in-memory plaque was dedicated in 2004. According to an article in the Veteran magazine by past AVVA President Mary Miller, AVVA and VVA pledged to take care of the plaque once Ruth and Barry Fitzgerald retired. The original bill passed by Congress stated that it is to be in a place of honor and to have proper drainage. I can now say that that's finally going to happen. Through perseverance and loving what we do, the repair has been accepted by 3 governmental agencies and is now in the process of becoming a reality. Although the repair is not what we first envisioned, it will now have a presence, it will have proper drainage, and be well lighted. No longer will anyone have to search for it, and no longer will anybody accidentally stand on it. I know that there's been recent speculation about VVA's future, and therefore AVVA's future is coming to the forefront as well. But I firmly believe that we will all make the correct decisions when the time comes to decide our futures. But for now, AVVA's work must go on, and so should VVA's. To paraphrase from an unknown author, at the end, it's really not what you bought, but what you built. Not what you got, but what you shared. Not your competence, but your character, and not your success, but your significance. VVA has built a stellar reputation. You shared your life-changing experiences, and you've paved the way for the younger generations of veterans. And because of your efforts and your character, and because you've held your head high and you have endured, America is a different place for the soldier coming home today. I read a caption in a military magazine a few weeks ago, and you may have seen it too, and it went something like this: The person who said that old soldiers just fade away had never met the Vietnam veteran. You have made a difference in the veteran world. I want to thank all of you who still watch our back as we continue to grow and evolve, and I thank all of you who have encouraged us and empowered us, but I especially thank those of you who support us through your AVVA membership. It means the world to us. I too welcome you to the Big Easy. God bless America, God bless our Vietnam veterans, and God bless everybody who supports you. Thank you.
Now my good pleasure to introduce our host for this week, Terry Corville, Louisiana State Council President. Terry.
Bon matin. Comment ça va ce matin? Souhaite que les bons. Oh, okay. Okay, for a while I thought I was at a birthday party down the bayou for Boudreaux, so I'm sorry. Good morning. How y'all doing this morning? Hope everything is good. I'm so honored to be here in front of all you heroes this morning. Vietnam veterans. Damn, I love y'all. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for the hard work y'all do back at y'all state and y'all local chapter. Thank you very much. And I want to say, welcome home. Welcome home, brothers and sisters, from a job well done. Welcome home. On behalf of the Louisiana State Council, our delegates, and our AVVA, I want to welcome y'all to New Orleans, the Crescent City, the Big Easy, and welcome y'all to the Bayou State of Louisiana. On behalf of the Louisiana State Council, I'd like to welcome our national officers, national delegates, and our AVVA to Louisiana. Thank y'all. While in Louisiana and New Orleans, I would like for y'all to try our Cajun Creole cuisine, and for a few days, enjoy the Cajun way of life. Work real hard till the job is done, then play a lot harder. I want to say in closing, I want to say, bonjour béni, and laisse le bon temps rouler. God bless y'all and let the good times roll. Welcome to New Orleans.
And by the way, according to them, hot sauce goes with everything. Except your stomach lining, I don't know.